Alessandra, and I am an international admission counselor at Mica. I am also an alum as well as part-time sculpture faculty. So I wear a lot of different hats at Mica. This is actually my 15th year working with Mica. So I've worked with students from all over the world, and I will be your contact person as well. I highly encourage you to reach out to the admission counselors of all of the colleges that you're considering applying to. It can make a huge difference should you decide to apply. We love getting to know you before you send in your application. We also love to meet with you to give you advice on your portfolio to make it as strong as possible for scholarship. So don't be shy about reaching out. And I'm going to go ahead and put my contact information in the chat for all of you so that you know how to keep in touch with me. So Mica, or the Maryland Institute College of Art, was again founded in 1826. We're about to turn 200 years old, so we have a very strong reputation both in the US as well as internationally. This QR code will take you to our information form, so please get on our mailing list. This will let you know about upcoming opportunities to connect with us if we're having info sessions or portfolio days. Mica is one of the top 10 ranked colleges of art and design in the United States, according to US News and World Report. We're highly ranked both in design as well as in the fine arts. We've been named a Best Northeastern College as well as a top 20 US design school. We're really proud of our alumni. We are a top producer of Fulbright Scholars, which is an honor. We also have a lot of our alumni featured every year in the 30 under 30 Forbes list for arts and style. So this is going to give you a listing of just some of the big name companies where Mica students are interning or going on to work after graduating. We survey every graduating class to see what they're doing just 9 months after earning their Bachelor of Fine Arts at Mica, and 95% of the most recent class that we surveyed confirmed that they were either employed in a creative industry or they'd gone on to graduate school. So this is really a testament to how well Mica prepares you to enter the world after you graduate. I'll give you some examples of young alum. All of these alum are younger than myself. Winston Frazier was a painting major in his time at Mica, and he did a summer travel intensive to Sao Tome and Principe, which inspired him to want to launch his own company using 3D imaging and 3D printing technology to create prosthetic covers for amputees. And this is, they are fully customizable so that the person that's going to be the recipient gets to design it just the way that they want it. And it's a much more affordable way to make prosthetic covers. So he's worked with clients all over the world and helped to empower them. Yu Chen also launched her own business. She's the co-founder and CEO of an amazing company called Wearable Media. She was a graphic design major and combined her love of graphic design with fashion and technology to create e-textiles and fashion that combines robotics, so they move or light up or transform. Really amazing company. Maria just graduated 2 years ago. She was a painting major, and she also did Mica's study abroad program with Saatchi in Florence, Italy. And she was just named as one of the 30 under 30 young artists to watch. We're really proud of her. She's already found gallery representation in New York City, and in her time at Mica, she had already been selected and participated in 4 of the most prestigious artist residencies in the world. Nicki Hendrix, she was a general fine arts major in her time at Mica and decided to launch her own fashion company called Nicki Hendrix Design, and it's based in Washington, D.C. And her clothing was featured in the Paris, Milan, and New York fashion weeks while she was still a student. And then since graduating, her work has been featured in the London fashion weeks, as well as being published in many different publications in the US. And then Hilary Ament, she was a graphic design major, and she has now gone on to work on graphic design for Walt Disney, Universal Studios, as well as Netflix. And you're seeing some of the shows that she's worked up on the right, including award-winning Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So Mica is located in the city of Baltimore, Maryland. That's where I'm reporting to you from now. This is downtown Baltimore. It's a beautiful downtown area that's on the Chesapeake Bay. So we're famous for seafood. This is where a lot of the shopping and hotels and restaurants are located. And this is all walking distance from our campus. Baltimore is right in the heart of the Northeast Art Corridor, so it's ideal for young artists and designers because you're only 45 minutes driving to Washington, D.C., an hour and a half to Philadelphia, and about 3 hours to New York City. So this means that you're going to have access to these different cities for internship opportunities, career opportunities, but you'll also have visiting artists, critics, curators from these different cities coming through and doing studio visits. You'll also go on field trips to all of these cities with your classes. But Baltimore is a city that you can really make a name for yourself in. That it is a city of creative entrepreneurs. We are named the #2 hottest startup city in the US, as well as the #2 city in the US for tech jobs. We're also home to the second largest center of the video game industry in the country. It's like the East Coast kind of version of Silicon Valley. So if you're looking at animation or illustration, there's a lot of connections there. So students come from all over the world to attend Mica. We have about 450 students in an incoming class each year, and we have students coming from 48 states and 52 countries. So it's a very diverse student body. About a third of our student body is international, both in the undergraduate and graduate departments. And we want you to know that you are welcome here on our campus, no matter where you're coming from. We also have a lot of resources for international students, including a learning resource center and courses for non-native English speakers, academic advisors. There's a beautiful health and wellness and fitness center. There's also shopping shuttles and over 40 student organizations. And these are all funded by Mica. You can also start your own organization. It only takes 7 students. So there's some cultural organizations. There's also really wild organizations like the Mustache Club and the Haunted House Club and the Outdoor Club. So just about everything you can imagine. All of our students also have access to our robust career development office. This is available to you for all 4 years as a student, but also for the rest of your life. So you can always meet with our career counselors. They can get you thinking about and preparing for what you're going to do after graduating. They also organize internship fairs and career fairs on campus. They can help connect you with our job databases that are not just for the US, but all over the world. They also are very involved in our entrepreneurship programs. Mica's campus is really unique. We have over 30 different buildings, all within a 5-block radius. So it creates more of a college campus feel, even though you're in a city. So everyone walking around in the area of Mica is Mica students or faculty. These are just some of Mica's buildings. We have brand new buildings as well as historic structures that we've converted into residence halls, studios, and academic spaces. On the right is our own movie theater where our film and video programs are located. We also have 3 residence halls, so they're all apartment style, and you're guaranteed housing your first and second year. And then after that, you can choose to remain in Mica's housing, or you can move off campus into the surrounding neighborhood. But it's all apartment style with single or double bedrooms, shared living room, shared bathroom, and shared kitchen. I'm actually still best friends with my roommate from my first year residence hall. You can actually pick out your roommate if you know somebody else that's also going to Mica. And I highly encourage you to take a tour of campus. You can just follow this QR code to take a virtual tour. I also put the link to the tour in the chat. So to summarize a Mica education is that it's integrative, it's customizable, it's entrepreneurial, and purpose-driven. So by saying that Mica is integrative, we encourage you to explore and apply your out-of-the-box problem solving and creative thinking to other fields. So you may have an interest in biology or technology or space exploration or culture or history. We want you to dive into those interests in addition to pursuing art and design and illustration for their own sake. This is really in keeping with the idea of art and STEM, or science, technology, engineering, and math. This kind of integrative learning of combining different ways of thinking and working across different disciplines will happen as early as your first year. So in your first year, all incoming students go through the first year experience, which is a completely customizable first year. So you get a lot of courses to choose from. So you'll learn both 2D, 3D, and 4D media. You'll also be able to take an elective in whatever area you want. So you can jump right into your major or experiment with a new process before deciding on your major. But this allows you to meet everybody in your incoming class and really expand your range of knowledge before diving into your major. I'll show you an example of how a first year student's work evolved in his time at Mica. This is Quan Zhao. He was the ULB Young Painter Award winner when he attended Mica. He is now a senior, so he's about to graduate, but beautiful painting ability. These are all painted self-portraits. But in his first year, he explored beyond painting to explore mark making in drawing and sculpture and installation and even performance. So I'll flip through and just show you how his work evolved through his first year. Because I want you to see that in your first year, it's not boring assignments. It's actually you diving into your own interests and your own work. So you never know where your first year will take you. I applied to Mica as a painting major, and then by my first year, by the end of my first year, I was a sculpture major. So who knew? But Mica is customizable, so you can pick any major you want. Sandy came to Mica and decided to be a sculpture major, and she did a minor in sustainability and social practice. She was also selected for our Hopkins Extreme Arts internship, which happens through Johns Hopkins University, which is one of our partner institutions. She's now getting her master's degree at Columbia University, which was her first choice for graduate programs. Abby also took advantage of Mica's customizable curriculum. She was a general fine arts major, and she did a minor in video and also a minor in creative writing. And now she has a lot of different careers. She's an actress, you may recognize her. She's one of the writers and stars and creators of Broad City, which is a hilarious comedy here in the US. She's also the host of a podcast with the Museum of Modern Art in New York, where she's living, all about contemporary art. And then she also is an author and illustrator. And this is one of her books called Carry This Book that you see on the left. So it's okay to pursue a lot of different things. And like I said, you're guaranteed whatever major you want, and you choose your major at the end of the first year. So there's majors in the fine arts. There's also majors in design and media arts. We also have 3 different majors in the liberal arts, and these majors are half studio arts and half liberal arts, whereas all of the other offerings are 2/3 studio arts and 1/3 liberal arts. We have 2 multidisciplinary majors. So general fine arts is like a fully customizable major, allowing you to pick and choose classes from all the other departments. And interdisciplinary sculpture is also open, allowing you to take classes from all of the 3D departments as well as electives outside of those offerings. We also have a brand new major in ecosystem sustainability and justice. So if these are interests that relate to your paintings or your architecture or your product design, this is a major that would allow you to combine both of those interests. So in all of these majors, you can take electives outside of those majors in other areas. So we have painters that are making installations. We have film and video students that are also taking illustration and animation classes. So you can explore outside your major. You're also not restricted just to working in that media. Professional and career development is built into every single major. So you're going to be learning business skills, networking, copyright law, so that you're prepared to launch your business after graduating, if that's an interest. But most importantly, the work that you're making is all your own original content. You're not just learning technical skill, you're also developing your own original ideas. And this is really supported by our liberal arts program. Mica offers over 200 courses in the liberal arts every semester, and they're amazing classes. This is a list of just some of our liberal arts offerings. My favorite class was Outlaws, Crazies, and Scapegoats. There's also the problem of evil, the history of silence. So you can pick classes that inspire the things that you're making in the studio. You can also attach a minor. These are all of the different minors that we offer. And this again is free. So you could minor in sound art or curatorial studies or graphic design. You can also take classes at any of the other 13 colleges and universities in Baltimore for free. So this includes our neighboring world famous Johns Hopkins University. So if you want to study something that we don't offer, you can do that through the Baltimore Student Exchange Program. We also administer the most study abroad programs of any art and design college in the United States. So you can do a study abroad program for a summer or a semester. We have programs established on every continent on the globe. So there is no limit to the offerings of the study abroad programs. Your education is also entrepreneurial. Many of our alumni, as you saw in the examples, have gone on to launch their own businesses. So we even created a minor in creative entrepreneurship that you can attach to any major. This is kind of like a business minor for creatives. And this minor culminates in Mica's annual Upstart Venture Capital Competition, where Mica awards over $100,000 every year to graduating seniors and alum to launch their own sustainable businesses. If creative entrepreneurship or ecosystem sustainability justice really interests you, you can even enroll in the first year fellows program in either of these areas. So when you apply to Mica, you'll see this option. So even if you're thinking about it, you can always check it off and then you can apply into that first year fellows program later that spring. So there's no pressure. And then lastly, your education at Mica is purpose-driven. We encourage you to really think about why you're making what you're making and the impact that it could have in the world around us, either in the local community or globally. And this is embedded in Mica's mission and vision statement. Mica is the only ACAD, which is a fully accredited art and design college with an Office of Research. And through the Office of Research, we have these different centers that our students can use as an additional resource. There's the Center for Identity and Inclusion. There's the Center for Creative Citizenship. So if your work is about getting involved in the community and engaging with the people in your neighborhood or in your city, or if your work relates to identity, there's also the Space for Creative Black Imagination, as well as the Center for Social Design. And these centers are available for you to work with. This is all a free resource that's included in your tuition. So there's mentors and grant opportunities through all of these centers, as well as real life projects that you can get involved in. So if this sounds like the kind of education that you're looking for, you might consider applying. And I'll go through the application instructions for Mica. You'll apply through Common App, and then you will submit a portfolio through Slide Room. We'll also ask for an essay, and you can think of your essay as kind of like your artist statement. Let your personality come through, and a list of activities. This is like your CV. We'll also ask for letters of recommendation, and then a transcript of your last 4 years of school. And then for non-native English speakers, we'll ask for either the TOEFLs, the IELTS, the Pearsons, or the Duolingo. And the TOEFL minimum is a 75, the IELTS minimum is a 6.0, Pearson's is 58, and Duolingo is 105. The portfolio and your transcripts are going to be two of the most important factors in your application when it comes to merit scholarship. So it's so important that you keep your grades strong and your portfolio as strong as possible. Mica does not have any specific requirement for the portfolio, so this can be whatever you want to show us. Your portfolio does not need to be major specific. We only ask for a minimum of 12 pieces, but you can send up to 20 different slides. So you can think of your portfolio as like a gallery exhibition of your work. You'll want to curate your artwork to show work that is related either formally or conceptually. But your portfolio can have a lot of different mediums and processes in it. And I'll show you some examples of portfolio submissions that did really well for scholarship. The deadlines, early decision is coming up, that's November 1st. And then early action is December 1st. And then regular decision is February 1st, and you'll apply for scholarship at the same time that you apply. There's just a little box on your application that you'll check off if you want to be considered for scholarship. Mica also offers a pre-college program. This is for minimum age of 15, and the application is about to open in November 1st. We do require a portfolio for the pre-college program, and there's 3 different programs. There's the 2-week option, a 3-week option, or a 5-week option. So you earn college credit, you live in our residence halls. This will be in person on our campus. So this is a great way to try out Mica before deciding to apply and attend. There's also a lot of different ways that you can get a portfolio review. You can reach out to me directly. Don't be shy. I love looking at portfolios and helping to make them as strong as possible for scholarship. But you can also attend the free National Portfolio Days. These are the upcoming virtual portfolio days. There's one on October 30th, which is this Saturday. So that's even an option. And I will be reviewing at some of these, so you might get me. You can take a screenshot of this slide. This is different ways that you can get in touch with us. Another great free portfolio review opportunity is the acad.slideroom.com. And this is also a free portfolio review opportunity where you can get feedback, not just from Mica, but all of the fully accredited art and design colleges in the US and Canada. Let's see, you can also follow us on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. We even have our own app. And then here's my contact information and the QR code to Mica's virtual kit. And this has Mica's prospectus and the artist guide to choosing a college. So a lot of helpful resources. Some are great for 11th graders and as well as 12th graders. Let's see, so I'm going to show you some portfolio examples in the few moments that we have left. This is an entire student's portfolio here. So you're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're seeing about 12 or 13 different slides all on one screen. So it's a little confusing, but I want you to see the range of work that the students submitted in their portfolio. They did everything from performance to painting to an artist book to fashion. So your portfolio can really have a lot of personality, a lot of different materials. It doesn't have to just be one way of working. And again, it doesn't have to be specific to your major. This student also submitted a video of the performance that you're seeing in that first slide. And I'll, oh, I hope I have it. I'll try to play it for you because it's hilarious. But this is what it's going to look like on our end when you upload your work through SlideRoom. In the art space image, you'll want your art as big as possible with no text because you'll put the text separately in the text boxes. So SlideRoom will give you a separate area for the title, the year, and a description. Video pieces should be limited to 5 minutes, but you can also include a link to the full version if that's somewhere else on the internet. And we do actually follow that link and watch it. I don't know that there's a limit to the description. You can really go in depth, but it's optional, so it's not required. You can walk
around if you want, like just walk around the room.
So sometimes video might be the best way to document a piece like this. So think about documenting your work in the way that it will show off the piece the best. Because remember, we're only able to view your work on the screen. So make sure your images really capture the artwork. So this student's portfolio was 3-dimensional, beautiful documentation of soft sculptures that they've made, some of them referring to inner body or organs. And then you can see how that interest carries over into their paintings. Their 2D work was very related to the sculptures in terms of the shapes and colors and forms, so beautifully curated. All of these portfolios were top scholarship winners when they applied to Mica, and they all are now going through their time at Mica. This student's portfolio was all photography. They're now actually a film and video major, but their portfolio did really well for scholarship with these beautiful self-portraits, very cinematic. They feel almost like dream sequences, super minimal, but it's amazing how much of a narrative you can tell even with just such minimal elements. You can put 2 images on a page, but most of the time you'll want to have just one artwork on a slide. We've put 2 together on the slide just because otherwise the presentation would go on forever. But you can play with it, see if the work looks stronger together or alone on the slide. And that's something I can help you with also. So don't hesitate to reach out. This student combined their love of painting and portraits of friends and family with their love of fibers. So on the left is a whole embroidered section of this painting. I'll also show you one of her self-portraits that was entirely embroidered. So here you're seeing almost the entire portfolio that the students submitted. And then this student was working digitally, combining their love of graphic design and illustration. So I'll just show this example. This will be just so that we allow just a couple minutes for any questions. But I hope that's helpful to see some examples of student work and portfolios to get an idea of how different every portfolio is that we look at. Please stay in touch with me. Again, I'll put my slide with my contact information on the screen. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Let me see if anyone's put anything in the chat. Oh, hi, Hannah.
Hello, thank you so much for your presentation.
Oh yeah, it's my pleasure. Oh, it's my pleasure, yeah.
Maybe you could, since we don't have a question yet in the chat, I could just ask you, since you are an alumni, could you tell us why you decided to attend Mica?
Oh, that's a great question. I was the first artist in my family to go to art college. I was really strong academically, and Mica's liberal arts program is really robust. They put a lot of emphasis on academics, which appealed to me. I did Mica's pre-college program at the end of my junior year to try it out. And I loved the teachers. I really enjoyed the campus. I loved the kind of work ethic and the amount of work that I was given to do in pre-college. So I felt a connection right away doing the summer pre-college program. And then also the strength of the painting program. It's a world famous painting program. So that was what I thought I would major in. Little did I know that in my first year, I would fall in love with sculpture through the first year experience. So I ended up going into sculpture, which is what I still do to this day. But yeah, I don't know that I even realized all that Mica education had to offer when I went there. But I've loved working for them. When I graduated from Mica, I got into my top choice graduate program, and I was also accepted to the graduate program on a full scholarship called the Jacob Javits Fellowship, which I had to apply for, but I found out about it through Mica. But I realized how well the Mica education had prepared me for my time afterwards. Because I was getting everything I was applying for. So that really kind of made me believe in kind of the Mica education as being kind of holistic and really kind of helping students to launch their careers, which it did for me.
Great.
Yeah.
And we do have a question here from the chat. We have a student who wants to know, they've been in Canada since grade 5, and they want to know if they would have to take an English language test.
Oh, that's a great question. If you should be able to get that waived, you can always just indicate on your application that you want to have the English test waived, and we can look at that. If you have had your high school education in a school where the primary language of instruction is English and you've done at least 2 years there, then you should be able to have that English test waived. So yes, I think that student won't have to worry about that. Great question though. Yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
Also, if you've taken the SAT or the ACT, that can also be a substitute for the English test, but we do not require the SAT or ACT. It's just, if you've taken it and you did well and you want to submit it, it can help your academics, or it can substitute that English test.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you, everyone, and good luck. Good luck to you all.